Hola. Come on in. My name is Evan Connon, and this is Connon Studios. I'm a stained glass artist from Ireland, based in Dublin, and we restore and we design new stained glass around the island of Ireland. Come on in. This is a little project that I have going. This is actually a window out of Lusk. It's a Harry Clarke original window. So everybody knows Harry Clarke. So what it is that we are restoring this stained glass window. We're going to do absolutely very, very little except clean all the glass. We're going to leave the original lead in the window. It was originally re-leaded, we believe, in the 1980s with some damage that has been incurred, and we're going through and we're recording what has been done. So we can see that within these windows that there has been what we would recognize as spider leads. So there's a lot of leads in this saint's glove, but we're not going to change it because we believe that the grouting inside is too hard, and that this beautiful window is best left for the moment. And what we can actually see with here is how Harry Clarke painted very, very, very beautifully. He did his original tacked lines, which are the black lines. He then painted all the way around and in this area here, and he used a small little needle to inscribe the hair and the floral. He then placed it into the kiln. He then brought it back, and then what he did was he gave it a solid one mat, and he stippled with a badger, and then got a needle and etched the paint again to give highlights in areas that we would see around. But he didn't do too much. Like, he kept the base there, but he also kind of gave the mat. So some heads will have painting with what we call full tack lines, and some heads are actually done with needlework within the hair. And the idea that ends up being is that no nimbus, all these nimbuses are all different. He never did the same design within any of the nimbuses, as you can see in here and here, that all the nimbuses, these ones are dotted, this one is squiggly, and this one is floral. He never kept the same nimbus as the size. You can also see his beautiful little hands, and the detail that goes in within this is that the detail within the fingers is spectacular. So also in Connon Studios, we design stained glass. So I myself trained as an artist since the age of 15. My grandfather actually probably worked on these windows himself. He was one of the painters in the Clarke Studios, and from that is where the gene actually jumped one generation, and I became a stained glass artist. At the moment, we're working on a W.B. Yeats window. It's the Wandering Angus, and the idea that ends up being is that in this stained glass window that we're designing, we are basically creating a type of stained glass similar to what Harry Clarke would do, but yet in our own unique style. So of course there's cross-pollination in Ireland of artists. The Wandering Angus, he places a little stick, a little willow with a little cherry to the fish. And when he brings this fish out onto the ground, he's going to kill the fish. And amongst the flames and amongst the butterflies came a lovely little girl. And this girl came about to say, why would you dare try and kill me? And he fell in love with this little girl. And he said, where will we meet again? And she said, on your deathbed one day, at your end of life, we can only meet then. That is when it is passing. So we actually came up with this piece of stained glass here that we're working on at the moment, that it's him at his later years, and the fairy comes back just before he dies to say, this is where it is, this is the homeland. So this idea of the studio is based on tradition. We are fundamentally, you must be able to draw. If you cannot draw, you cannot paint it, and if you cannot paint it, you're not going to make it. We don't believe in sending out work to deliver, even if the work is by our own hand and someone is better. That is fine. It is best to have your own hand, your own artwork within your own hand. So all these drawings that are here are previous projects. This one here is a live project. This is a new stained glass window been designed for a church in County Wicklow, Ireland. So this is St. Bridget, and the idea within St. Bridget is that they wanted it to be more modern in the background. So she's planting the seeds, the oak, and as we say in Ireland, it does not matter where the oak tree grows. Once the corns always know that they came from where the motherland was, which is Ireland. So these are the children of Ireland that are going out across the world, but where they were born was Ireland. And this is St. Bridget. She was originally a princess. She came from a pagan king, and she changed to Christianity, and she's our second patron saint in Ireland. The other one is St. Patrick, which everybody knows on St. Patrick's Day. So in the studio here, we have our big kiln, we have our bending machine for our bars, we have the benches here. All these benches are on wheels, so we can move the benches around if it is a case that we need to get larger windows or drawings within the studio. So if we actually kind of, let's say, what do we do as a modern studio? As a modern studio, we are also based on our ideas that we can actually be a modern artist. We don't have to be full traditional in terms of design, and we will show you some stuff that we will actually do. Like in one of the drawings at the back, there is one of motherhood that we're actually doing. It's not very detailed in detail like the other drawings, but the idea behind it is that pregnancy is a very fragile idea, and we're going to be putting little flowers, cherry blossoms around the rear of the pregnant woman to just show you that it is based on Japanese cherry blossom that is so precious. And at the moment, this is the piece here that we've actually cut. So if we pull this out, a bit dusty today, but it's there. So what we're working on is that this is the idea of modern glass in Ireland. We make it ourselves, we draw it ourselves, and we're going to produce it ourselves. Let me show you a new type of stained glass that we do as well, just to kind of give you a bit of an idea that we're not all based on tradition. We have done pieces for museums. This is a piece here. This is a drawing of the stolen child. It's another poem by W.B. Yeats. It's all the fairies are all waiting for this child to die. And this fairy is saying there is no need to live in the present day. We can take you to the land of where there's plenty of food and drink. And the idea that ends up being is the trees come alive with the wolves and the stag. And this is Ben Bulbin up here. So the idea that ends up being, it's based in County Sligo. So, but come on in here and we'll show you another new type of stained glass window. This is a new stained glass window that we're designing and we're producing. It's called the Lovers. So in this piece, we actually have little mice, and the mice are watching on within this scene. And these are two friends who are basically bringing their relationship onto a different level. And where people may look in and say they have their opinion about it, that's in a window. They're outside this room. So that you can understand that this is the skirting, this is the wallpaper, this is the floor. But once they kiss, the relationship changes. And once mice touch cheese, the cheese is spoiled. So the idea within it is that nothing has happened as yet, but it's called the kiss. So the idea there also is that we've done a lot of restoration programs. We do our own. Here's some more detailed drawings of mine that we have done. And this was in 2010. I did a piece called The Artist Hunger. It was basically when this is me as an artist, and this is my wife, and this was the people in the social welfare. And the idea that ends up being is the guy who trained me, which was Willie, was in the background, but I was just looking for some sort of intervention within it. And this is the type of thing that you would always ask for, you pray for your guardian angel to come down and deal with the problems, but it never came. So this is Connon Studios. I hope you like it, and thanks very much for watching.